Hello everyone, and welcome back to another unboxing video. I recently checked my playlist, and it's been so long since I've made one of these that I haven't even made one in this new house yet. So, we're gonna do one right now. And it just so happens that I purchased a new item recently. And when I say new, I mean this literally just came out. This is the brand new Motorized Thomas and S.C.RUFFY, aka Scruffy. This thing has been highly awaited by me personally. Now I have actually experienced one of these 2026 engines already. I did buy the Thomas pack a while ago, and I planned on buying this with it so that I could do a double review on both of them. But then this got canceled, and I knew this was the item I really wanted to review. And besides, this pack comes with both a Thomas and a Scruffy. So I can just give my thoughts on the Thomas from this line with this Thomas here. But just to prove that I do actually own the regular Thomas pack, here's the truck that comes with it. If you're wondering where the Thomas is, I actually customized it to have a regular Trackmaster coupling so I can use it with these guys, who we'll talk about them in a minute. So before we get started, let's have a look at the packaging. Now, the biggest thing that I'm gonna say about this entire range's packaging is there's no plastic sheet or anything covering these, meaning children's hands can get like all up in this and like touch this and feel this. And most importantly, these can probably be pretty easily stolen. I'll touch upon that in just a minute, but these things are not protected at all. Let's talk about the design of this packaging, though. You got a nice little countryside background in there, nice viaduct. Love this little train tracks pattern along the side here. It looks like they're just having like different languages already on the box instead of doing different variants for different languages. On the back, they don't really show, there's no like, one thing that I liked about old Trackmaster is like you'd have like a thing on the back that had like, these are the characters that are in this wave and the ones you can collect alongside it. So for this wave, you'd have like Rosie, you'd have Diesel, you'd have this pack, and then like maybe a couple of the if it's a certain era of this, you might have even had a little pamphlet inside the box that said that. But what do I know? We don't get nice things like that nowadays. Pamphlets are too much for Mattel, it seems. But I do really like this packaging. The nice new logo. I used to think this was just like too cartoony, in my opinion, but I've come around on it. So, there's also the little, as seen on YouTube Kids logo, if it'll focus on that. Focus. Come on, focus. Available on YouTube Kids. I think you can see that. So, there's also a little product number there, but, you know. Oh, another awesome thing that I still like that they still do, they have Thomas puffing up the barcode. That's actually really clever. So, I don't particularly care too much about preserving this packaging. I probably will end up getting a second one of these anyway, because I really want to try and customize that Scruffy. So instead, let me demonstrate how easy this is to steal. Firstly, if you have strong hands, you can just absolutely shred this, as you can see, and get into the bottom. And then, to release the thing, all you have to do is just twist, 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 and it's out. I can only imagine that once I start seeing these things pop up on store shelves, it's just going to be that. That's what's going to be left after this stuff arrives on store shelves. So, not a fan of the quality of that packaging. I know we're going for the whole environmentally friendly angle of like plastic-free packaging, but at the end of the day, it preserves these things a bit better than just nothing at all. I would much rather have a toy that has plastic that won't be degradable. I sound like an a-hole saying this, but like, I would much rather have stuff in stores be protected from people who will come along and steal this than see it stolen, is what I'm saying. So, like, these are not very well protected at all. These will more than likely end up stolen. And at least from what I can tell, the diecast line seems to have plastic in their packaging, which, at the end of the day, I know people probably aren't going to like me hearing me say this, but at the end of the day, those will probably be more protected than these will be. Because again, look how badly you can tear this box up. Like, if you could rip this box open, you can basically steal the toy. Because these things don't protect it at all, because all you have to do is twist. I was thinking when I first saw it, it was like a screw thing, where they were like screwed in with like screws on the bottom of the chassis. But no, that's not the case. It's just a turn. So, yeah, marks off for that. But let's finally get into the models themselves here. Starting with the boy himself, Thomas. So, when I first saw the pictures of this Thomas on I think it was Christmas Day actually that we saw these, and I posted about it. I think it was either the same day or the day after. I was like super offended and like really upset about this. I've come around. The face doesn't bother me as much anymore. It does still look like Hit Era Renee's, but what can you really do? I think they did a good job considering what they were working with. And if you look at the reference picture they released, you can really tell that a lot of different eras went into making this. I like some of the detailing on the Thomas himself. I like that we retained these special side rods. The middle wheel, I like that that's like an actual wheel now. It doesn't turn, but I think it does enough. And I actually kind of like the button on top. It will never have the same charm as just like the little switch that you flick and he's off. But at the end of the day, it doesn't look nearly as distracting. Because, like, you can tell with these that these are toys, just simply from the fact that you can see the switch. Like, If I was to film this Thomas from like a low angle, which, bear with me for a second. If I filmed Thomas from this angle, you probably wouldn't be able to tell that that was a toy if it wasn't for the background confirming that fact. So trust me when I say I have indeed come around on this toy. I used to think this was pathetic, but it's grown on me quite a bit. So have the one thing that it hasn't is the magnets. Like, I'm still not really used to that. And as you can tell right here, the grip strength is just pathetic. Like, you can dangle it, but not for long. The tried and true method of just the clip couplings will never. Well, it's much superior. But since we're on the topic of the rolling stock with the magnets, let's talk about Scruffy. I really like this Scruffy. One thing I don't really like about him is that the frames are black. I would have preferred yellow frames. Sort of like the old Trackmaster Tomy Scruffy. But then again, my custom of Scruffy has black frames, so I'm not really one to talk. The new face looks very good. They actually inverted the tooth. In the show he only has one tooth, but in this one he has one tooth missing, which is kind of fascinating. I like the kind of plating over the top of him that the lettering is on. I used to think that was kind of distracting, and I was like, I wish it was just kind of printed on the side, but I like this method now. I also like that they did actually paint the rims, because Scruffy doesn't look good without painted rims. Unlike this truck that didn't paint the rims. So now I have two trucks. And Thomas, I could technically have a little Thomas and Scruffy Greatest Moments pack going on here. But so, yeah. I don't really know what else to say about Scruffy. It's Scruffy. It looks really good, actually. I'm genuinely shocked by how much I like these. Some time, so let's really quickly do some comparisons, shall we? Let's do a rapid fire, actually, this time. Here he is with the Playrail 80th Anniversary Railway Series Thomas. My tried and true Playrail Thomas. Still don't have a regular Trackmaster 2 Thomas, so using the talking one to stand in for it. Here he is with the Playrail Streamline Thomas. Here he is next to the monster that is the Reboot Thomas. I don't have a standard 80th Thomas, but this one will do for now. It's my Model Series one, but it is a very good comparison. For magnet's sake, here's the Take-Along Thomas. And for the sake of comparison, here is the 80th Die-Cast Thomas. Hope that's a pretty good indicator of how big he is next to the other Thomases. And did it really quickly. So now, I think it's time for a good old running session. But first, let me show you how to put a battery in this guy, because he actually comes apart a little bit differently than previous eras. Got to get that famous Leo Kim video screwdriver shot. So the past few iterations of Thomas have had their chassis block be the only separate piece, when with the body and running board being one thing. This new line has changed it. So now the running board, similar to Tomy, where the body shell is a separate piece from the running board and footplate, this new line is the same. The body shell is the separate piece, and the rest of this is all one piece. Now I'm sure you're saying, oh, they went back to a single AA battery in engines. Incorrect. They went back to one battery, but for a AAA battery. Don't put a name on that. Don't want to think it's a brand promotion. That's the one thing everyone's been talking about with these. The fact that they run on a single AAA battery. Like, these things are super weak. And I've seen a lot of people say that they stall on hills. For my purposes, I don't really care about that fact, because my layout does not have many hills. The worst that I have on my layout for these guys is the slope down to the harbor. But that's only one riser, and I've tested my current Thomas on that, and it's perfectly fine. So, then again, I haven't tried it with rolling stock yet, because of course I immediately bought mine and swapped the coupling with a Trackmaster one. So I haven't tried it with this rolling stock yet, of course. But I'm going to assume it should be fine. So, yeah. Now I guess we'll get to the running session, including Thomas, Scruffy, and this truck, just because. Editor's note. I was looking at this package that I tore up, and there's literally a thing on the bottom that, like, they want you to, like, pop this and just open it that way. So, yeah, these things are screwed when it comes to like stores and like stealing this stuff. Like, they literally give you like free reign to just pop the bottom open and then immediately have access to the things. So, yeah, these are screwed. Never are these things ever going to be found in stores without something missing. No way. Okay, now back to the video. Okay. After running this a good bit, I can easily say these 2026 engines hate my point sections. They literally can't. This Thomas, with Scruffy in this truck, cannot handle my point sections. So, already there you go. There's a pretty big problem with the 2026 line. They probably don't like your point sections. I'm sure if I had like a whole layout of just this guy's track, this would probably be a bit more accessible for him. But yeah, already there's some points ticked off because he doesn't really like to work with this kind of track. So there's that. But otherwise, this guy worked pretty well. I will probably end this by showing some of the crashes that happened while I was trying to film that. Just a brief, like, 15-second compilation of the crashes, because I have a good few. This guy was kind of a nightmare to get the running session down for, but, you know, it is what it is, and we're going to have to deal with it. So, with all that out of the way, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This has been the brand new 2026 Thomas and S.C.RUFFY Scruffy 2-pack. So, what would I rate this pack? Well, firstly, do I still dislike this range? No. I do enjoy it. Sort of. I like the idea of it. I think the proportions are good. And they scale well with these engines. However, I think their stability needs some work, and I would really prefer if future characters just ran on a single AA battery instead of a AAA. And I also think we need something to keep the engines more stable. Because, like, obviously the whole gimmick with their own tracks is, like, if they derail, they'll re-rail themselves. But I wish that was a thing. I wish that didn't have to come at the expense of them just not working super well on these tracks. So I think my final rating for this Thomas and this Scruffy, probably an 8 out of 10. I like how they look, but the packaging is garbage, and they need a few tweaks for future variations. Anyway, I think that will do it for today's video. So until next time, this is Jacob the New Engine 159 saying goodbye, thanks for watching, and enjoy this little crash compilation. Thank you all very much for watching. Perfect segue. Hello everyone, Thomas here. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, click the links on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to Jacob's channel, it would mean a lot. Time to get going now. Goodbye.